How's it going, everybody? This is Seer here. We have the race to find Xavier. That's right, Xavier's coming very, very quickly. So we're going to have some information about a victory celebration, changes to Battleworld, and I'm going to be showing you what my current progress is in the Xavier Saga. Currently, the best advice is still to wait, but at least this way you'll kind of be able to see where my stockpile's at and who I actually took to G20 already. Let's go ahead and take a look at this blog. Here's your battle plan for April 12th through April 18th. It looks like on April 14th, there's going to be a new strike pass. It does not give the details of who this actually is, though. We have a race to X event, See No Evil, and the Crimson Storm. The Crimson Storm has been the weekly one that we keep going back into. April 15th, Battleworld is going to be returning. That is going to end up being on Tuesday. April 16th, we have the Path to Silver Sable Orb Fragments added to the Chaotic Storm Raid mission rewards. So it looks like on April 16th, which is going to be on Wednesday, we're going to start getting Silver Sable Orb Fragments for this Path to Orbs. April 18th is going to be the Quick Rumble of the exceptional Quick Rumble, that is. Alright, so the race to earn Professor Xavier begins. The wait is almost over. The exciting conclusion to the Age of X is on the way with the Professor Xavier Saga. Marvel Strike Force's most important quest to date calls on you to defeat 4 bosses of increasingly nightmarish abilities, with total victory earning you Professor Xavier. Check out a recent blog covering all the big details of the saga, including character and gear requirements, to make sure your roster is ready when the doors open. Professor Xavier Saga begins on April 14th at 2 p.m. Pacific, so prepare your roster for the start. Now, there is going to be that victory celebration on here. Finding Professor Xavier is Strike's top priority in the coming weeks, and as if recruiting an Omega level mutant mind like Xavier's isn't big enough, we've got prizes for the first wave of commanders to conquer the saga along with a party to celebrate. So basically, there's going to be a top 100 and top 10. I'm not going to be hitting that top 100. I've spent a little bit as far as trying to get kind of push on the leaderboards, push on the milestones a little bit. I want to say totals, just so that way I'm transparent. I spent maybe $100 over 3 events. So that got me a $35, I believe, on the first leaderboard, got me into the top 1,000. I spent another, I think, 20 on the second event. And then maybe I spent less than that, but I've spent probably about $20 to $30 an event just to try to push a little bit further. And I'll kind of show you what progress that did end up getting me. Now, for the top 100, the first commanders to complete the saga will receive an Xavier player frame. Wear it proudly because beginning in the top 100 is no easy feat. Top 10. The elite top 10 finishers will not only get the Xavier frame, but also a red Dark Xavier frame. That's actually pretty cool. And 3 diamonds for Lilandra. Now, there's going to be a community celebration gifts. We're all celebrating the top commanders with gifts for the community. First up, we'll have a vote for a 100 character shard gift. This is kind of standard what they do whenever there's that Dark Dimension. We have like a poll based on characters used, and we get those characters. The top 2 vote getters will be featured in an orb, with each orb rewarding 50 shards. So you can basically get 50 of each type of character or go all in for 100. Open each orb once or one orb twice. The choice will be yours. We'll also have a week of 10 for 10 offers in the stores to keep an eye out for the start of those gems. I do like the 10 for 10. They're pretty nice. Good luck to everyone gunning for one of the top prizes. Strike will forever be in your debt for rescuing Professor Xavier. So, race to X. Saving Professor Xavier is the top priority for Strike, so Commander Fury is inviting all commanders to join the mission for the special Race to X initiative. The requirements to begin the saga begin at Gear Tier 17, so we encourage everyone who's ready to try the initial missions and enjoy the rewards, which promises key resources for your roster and Professor Xavier. Alright, so I did want to jump over here really quick, then I'll get back over to the blog. What we see here is basically the path to unlocking Professor Xavier, and something I've been starting to think about is maybe the best bet is going into City first. So pretty much we have that Gear Tier 17, 18, 19 requirement for Nimrod. We're going to be able to knock this out as endgame players pretty easily. As mid-game, you probably do 17, then when you get to gear 18, knock this out, then 19, knock this one out. There's no requirements. We just have to make sure we get those 3 stars, which typically that means we need to one-shot the nodes. They still haven't confirmed if that's the case, but it probably is going to end up being the case. Now, depending on if they allow it like the other sagas to where it can jump into, say, the Gladiator saga and also the Shadow King and then the Dark Xavier to knock all these gear tier 19 ones out, that should get us a lot of nice rewards. Now, the reason I'm thinking we might want to do City first is because we're going to be able to get 3 or 4 chances of rewards because we'll be able to knock out all of the nodes, and then the boss, which is going to be Gladiator, try to get those first time rewards. Whereas if we go into, say, the global section, we can do the regular global, then we have to do 5 characters for villain global, 5 characters for hero global, and then we can knock out Shadow King. We get more rewards if we actually try to go into that city. So I think that's what I'm going to end up trying to do. Even though there's better characters in the cosmic section, such as Odin, Mephisto, Thanos Endgame, Shadow King, there's a lot of great characters in the cosmic section. Even Kahori's in that list. But we get more rewards to push to try to get these Professor X unlocked a whole lot sooner. So that's kind of what I'm thinking I'm going to end up doing, is we can knock out Nimrod. I'll probably focus on City, get more of the first time completion rewards, and then I'll probably jump into Cosmic if we're able to kind of do that. So let's go ahead and get back over to the blog. So limited time race to the X milestone. Complete Professor Xavier Saga missions to earn X helms. First time rewards only, and make progress in the limited time race to X milestone to earn Professor Xavier red stars. So it looks like by doing these milestones, just like they did with Odin, we can get the red stars on Professor X the same way. That's going to end up making me want to push even harder. So they definitely got me on the FOMO there. Congratulations on that one. All right, stand by for drop to Battleworld. So here's some of the slight alterations they make into Battleworld. All hands on deck. Strikes Armada is preparing for another mission on Battleworld. The next assault on this planet promises more resources for alliances who conquer the waves of warriors and the King in Black himself, Null. Whether you're looking to unlock Null for the first time or rank him up, more Null shards are on more Null character shards are on the line. I cannot talk today. I'm definitely sorry about that. We've also got 2 big updates for the next Battleworld. So each mission, including the Null boss mission, will be 48 hours, increased from 24. So we're going to have 2 days per node. So that's really going to stretch this out for that week, as opposed to having it kind of funneled in there to where we had it 3 or 4 days a week, basically 3 days to get the nodes done, that 4th day to take care of the Null boss fight. This is actually a great change, because having it to where I had to do my war and then go in here, knock this out, it really kind of put the pressure on me. Now I can have 2 days per node to really knock these out. That is actually great. Now there's also going to be a new skilled trait mission. We know that's basically because of Vigilante, right? We have Silver Sable coming out. Silver Sable should be out by the time you're ready watching this video. So we're only missing Hit Monkey from the Vigilante team. So yeah, that's basically what this is here for. I'm fine with that. I mean, we need to build Vigilante anyways because of the raids. If you're not building them, you're kind of falling behind. It's what my thinking is for that. So coordinate with your alliance around the 2 updates, because the battle begins on April 15th at 11 a.m. So if we end up having Silver Sable come out yesterday on the 10th, it's safe to say 10 days, that's going to end up being about the 18th, I would assume, is going to end up being the Hit Monkey release. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Command Center, King in Black, earn Null red shards. So on here, it doesn't say how many red stars we're going to get, but I'll go ahead and read this. The Null red star missions is back. If you unlock Null during this April siege, this is how you earn red stars. When you unlock Null, you also unlock a special milestone King of Black. Play every day and blitz with Null to progress through the King of Black milestone and unlock red stars for Null. Command Center, Return of the Shadow King. So looks like Shadow King is coming back. That is great. Earn Commander XP and character shards as you prepare for the next run of Shadow King's trials. So earn Shadow King orb fragments from ISO 8 nodes. So if you have that ISO 8 campaign energy, if you haven't been hoarding, start doing that. That way you can try to get a jump start as far as these orb fragments. Usually in these orb fragments are going to be some pretty good character shards for you to use on those nodes. Now, Show No Fear on April 14th. That's when this is going to end up starting. This is going to be Commander XP rank up tokens for selected characters. These rank up tokens are actually great. They end up getting you to that star level, the character level, and the ISO as well on them. It's going to be gold and training modules. Everybody can use that gold and training modules. The free claim, 500 Mutants vs. Zombies milestone points, 500 X-Men badges, and 5 Daredevil Modern character shards. I'll take it. Twitch drop. So this is going to be a 1 hour for 2 million gold, 2 hours for 200 power cores, or 4 hours for 500 L3 training modules. An X-Men and Space event. So I do want to end up going over this one here. I pulled a chart up for it. So let's go ahead. How to score points. Battle in Cosmic Crucible with the Starjammers. It doesn't say offense or defense, so it's probably on offense. Play Battleworld. Blitz with any gear tier 20 character. Oh my god. Don't gear tier 20. Like I said at the beginning of the video, wait until people have done their runs and they can kind of tell us what the optimal characters, what they encountered from doing those nodes, then start throwing gear tier 20 on when you had the full team. Doing premature gear tier 20 stuff, that can end up hurting you in the long run, because say a new character comes out, you already have somebody done, you can't take it back. So that's why I always wait until I have those done. I do have 2 gear tier 20 characters, which I'll explain why I did that. Collect X coins payday orbs. Open up to 3 limited Daredevil Modern Diamond orbs. So the current event we have right now, it says to open 2 of them. There was an offer for 1. We still have no clue how to get the second one. This one here for the 3, it's going to be the same deal. It's probably going to be an offer for 1, maybe 2. No clue how to finish that off yet. Now the big rewards is going to be Daredevil Modern character shards, X coins, and gear. Let's go ahead and look at the chart over here. So if we end up looking at this, we have 20 Daredevil Modern. That's 40, 60, 80, 100 Daredevil Modern, all the way up to milestone 14. Let's go ahead and do our quick napkin math over here to see if it's going to be 14 or 15. So we have Clear Wave in Battleworld. That's 55,000 points. We have Blitz with any gear tier 20. That's 1 character. So you only need to do 1 character. If you have Odin done, you're good. If you don't have Odin, you're probably going to miss out on that 10,000 points. I'm not going to calculate that in here. Earn 1 X coin payday orb fragment. Based on 1 to 6,000, we should be able to get that. So that's 6,000 points there. We have use Starjammers and Cosmic Crucible. I won't calculate these. And then earn 1 See No Evil milestone point. So we're at 61,000 just by doing the Battleworld and the payday event. So 61,000 gets us to milestone 12. That's going to get you the item, or just shy of the item on there. So we will get an additional 2,000 points from something, probably the See No Evil milestone points. That's probably like free claims and stuff like that. Now, if we end up factoring in the 3 orbs, if you're going to start pushing hard, and Starjammers all the way done, let me see what that gets you to. So that's 10,000 points. We have a 15,000 points and a 20,000 point. Let's battle with Silver Sable at 6 yellow. That's not happening for me for sure. I only get the 1 unlocks. Sometimes I'll push harder with course to get that 4 stars, but that's about it. So that's 151,000. That gets you to 16. So that's going to get the 100 Daredevil Modern. It's going to get the extra 150k X coins. So that's going to be 300, 425, 525, 625,000 X coins. And I would need an additional 10,000 points to get the extra 250k. This is where I kind of do the pushing. It's like, is it worth getting the milestone points using money or just getting the X coins by itself? So if you're kind of a cheap to play or a smart spender, like a dolphin type of thing, that's typically what I do. Is I see how many points I'm going to be shy. I look at the value of X coins. I look at the value of the milestone points. I look at the milestone points to see if that row is going to end up being worth it. So for this, for instance, I would need to get 10,000 points. That would get me 10 million gold, 250k X points. It's probably going to be, it might be worth it for me to try to push to that milestone 17. I need to see where the extra Daredevil Modern orb is going to be at, and also kind of see how close I'm going to end up being. It looks like I'm going to be about 10k shy from milestone 17. So that's kind of my process on how I analyze these type of events. And I only do that on these, like Professor X, for instance. I don't do on every single event. It's just I want Professor X. So, all right, Cry Havoc, Command Center events. So spend Vigilante, showcase energy, battle and raids with Vigilante, upgrade Vigilante gear tier. So this is going to be like gearing up your Silver Sable, Daredevil Modern, and Hit Monkey. Battle in Cosmic Crucible with Lilandra. Rewards an X-Man in Space milestone progress. That's the monthly. Crimson Storm, this is what we've been doing for a while now. This keeps getting us about 20 Havoc shards by doing this. And then the Quick Rumble Blitz with the X Factor team. Let's go ahead and jump in game, because I do want to kind of go over where I'm currently at in regards to the event store, where my X coin stash is at. I'm at 191k X coins. I've been doing some of the 50 core refreshes. You don't have to do that. The reason I was doing that was I needed to try to push a little bit further to try to get myself more prepped up for Professor Xavier, because he's going to be here in 4 days. Time of watching this video, it's going to be about 3 days away. So I wanted to try and get myself in line to where I can maybe get some more Mystic gear. So if we end up looking at these G20 pieces, for bio, I have 29 of the syringes and 40 of the spectral analysis. I haven't been getting a lot of bio, it just hasn't really been popping up as much. You and I've been doing fairly well. I'm at 56 of the ribosomes and 80 of the phytonutrients. For Mystic, I have 54 of the sigils. I have 85 of the geodes. So I almost have enough to where I can take, say, Blade up to that gear tier 20 mark. I need about, not 20, 21 of these sigils. For Mutant, I'm not taking any mutants into City, so I'm not too worried about this one, but I can almost take 3 characters or 1 character up to that gear 220 for Mutant. For Skill, I have 186 and I have 169. So I can take Punisher and I believe 2 skill up on that. Let me double check. So I have 75, 150, and then it's another 50. So I need 200. So I need 14 of the data and I need 31 of the microdots, and I can take 3 of my skill characters up. That would include Punisher. I am looking at him going. There were some changes to Daredevil Modern's kit. It is making me second guess if I want to take him, because being able to do negative buff flips and healing on the Vigilante team will have the drain for Blade and Oath. I think that's going to end up having to happen where I have to throw Daredevil Modern in. Then I'm going to have to maybe bench like Silver Sable or a Hit Monkey type of thing. For Tech, I have 50 of the ore and I have 63 of the pressurized tanks. So that's kind of where my gear 20 stash currently is at. Now, as far as characters goes, if we end up pulling up the verse portion, it's kind of all over the place. So first, let's go ahead and look at the city section on here. I do want to take Blade and Oath. I got the gear tier 19 stuff on these 2 characters. Now, I had the 4 main city characters. Elektra's definitely not going. Punisher, he just hits way too hard, and I might want to use that extra damage. Daredevil Modern, as I mentioned, they updated his special, which is on a 4-turn cooldown. Flip all negative effects into positive effects on self and all vigilante allies, and then heal self and all vigilante allies for 15% of this character's max health. He also will be able to get the taunt on there. I think I'm going to have to end up taking Daredevil Modern. Punisher with his damage output, I think I'm going to end up needing that to really push through those waves. Since we're getting Silver Sable, basically she should already be out by the time you're watching this video. I'm probably going to end up taking her and benching Hitmonkey, which that is a shame because Hitmonkey, he does end up having that turn 1 stun on his ultimate ability. He does the outer turn damage. He has some healing for sustain itself. I need to see how things are going to shape up, because if I can get enough Mystic gear, I might end up pulling the trigger. I might talk to a few people and say, hey, how was the city section? Do I need Daredevil Modern in here, or what do I need, type of thing. So that's kind of where my headset's at with the city section. If we end up going into global, this one's a mess. The reason it's a mess is if I end up looking at the villain section on here, I have Apocalypse, who's an expensive mutant. I have Omega Ray Phoenix Force. I want to take him because I use him in Cosmic Crucible, and he's actually a really good character for that. Agatha's Mystic. Then I put Nimrod and Lady Deathstrike in here. I went with Nimrod because of Overpowered. Overpowered's in the game. We have to account for that. Having that rank 11 on him is just going to destroy everybody that he touches. Lady Deathstrike, she is a cheap character to where you only need 2 of these gear tier 20s, and she hits like a freight train. So being able to get overpowered on these 2 characters, I think is going to be worth it for me. The issue is Agatha being Mystic. I need to see if I can actually swing taking her into here after I already take the Mystic characters in the previous city section where I have those 2 characters. If we end up looking at the hero portion, I'm leaning into Old Man Logan for sure and the Liberty team. I wanted to take Phoenix in there, but if we have to one-shot those nodes, she's going to be a liability to where if she ends up getting killed off, then she could go Dark Phoenix or help me clear, but not 3-star if that's the case. She might end up surviving in there though. She does have a pretty good kit where she could end up pulling all those negative effects in, healing them up. She does pretty good damage, but her cooldowns are so long. I don't know how that's going to end up faring in there. I still have her on here because of the Phoenix Force tag. She might be one of those characters I take to G20 after I end up clearing it. The reason I like the Liberty team is we have a skill character with Captain Sam, skill character with Peggy Carter, we have a tech character in Joaquin, and then we have a bio character in Patriot. Now, considering this is going to end up being after Global Villain, and I already had the 3 skill characters, I need to see if I can get enough skill gear up to be able to take these 2 characters in there. Now, for the villains, we already talked about the villain section. For the Cosmic section, let's go ahead and move over there. Now, we have Cosmic Villain first, is on the docket. Mephisto, as you see, I did end up throwing the skill gear into Thanos Endgame. I had to really talk to myself if it was worth doing it. So my thought process is he's a 3 skill piece, and because I pushed hard on that skill leaderboard event, I think I can get the skill gear back up in stock to finish my vigilante team that I was really looking at doing. This would allow me to really push into this section as well and get benefits for his overpowered. So in Cosmic Crucible, putting him in that the room 2, using him in arena, using him in war, I felt like it was a good enough investment that I can also make up the skill gear. That's why I end up pulling the trigger on him. I have Gladiator, Gore, and Shadow King. So this is kind of what I'm looking at for the Cosmic Villain section. Super Scroll being 5 bio is just a little bit too much when I'm trying to push and try to get that Xavier unlock. Now we end up having the hero section on here, and this one's kind of a mess as well. So what we have here Odin, G20, he's like a no-brainer. He's going to be hopefully the first character, unless you're actually going by sections, then props to you, and I definitely commend you for that. It's just G20 Odin hits totally different. Kahori's definitely going. Lilandra has to go, which is skill. People were saying G20 or Lilandra. I don't need her G20 right now. I can wait until I get to that section. It's not going to do anything for me to get overpowered on Lilandra early. From there, I have 2 tech characters in Rocket Raccoon and Howard the Duck. I have a mutant character in Havoc, or I have a bio character in Ms. Marvel Classic. The reason I have so many characters here kind of favorited is it's hopefully the last section that I'm going to end up doing. And from there, I can kind of look at my gear, look at the characters I have on here, and then decide which ones I want to end up going. But the ones that's definite locks is Odin, Kahori, and Lilandra. From there, I have 2 characters to play around with to try to get to that gear tier 20 mark. But that's kind of where my progress currently stands. You see a lot of these characters, I do have this middle left piece done. That's because of how many stats you actually get for a lot of these new characters. And I had the uniques to be able to do that. So if you have the uniques and a good surplus of it, it's definitely smart to be able to get those on there. You kind of see Ms. Marvel Classic. This would get her a lot of health. I have 112 shield tech on here. I could end up doing it, but I need it also for Peggy. So if I end up throwing on Peggy, you can kind of see the stat increase I end up getting for some of these characters. Whereas if you end up looking at some of these older characters, it's not that big of a deal. So that's kind of my progress. Hopefully this kind of helped you guys out as far as where I'm at, how I'm approaching Xavier and the overpowered in the game, along with the blog. I know this ran a little bit late, but with Professor X coming so soon, I definitely wanted to kind of give you guys an update for where I'm currently at. If you guys did enjoy this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.